Hello, folks. It's Patrick Gorman.
Hi, this is Jake Busey.
Hi, this is Bruce Boxleitner.
This is Tom Vera from A Gettysburg Christmas.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman.
And you're listening to
Addressing Gettysburg. I'm glad you're listening. Thank you.
I expected you to say something like that.
There's all kinds of wise tales out there.
Did you say
Good night, everybody.
Bonfire.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg Today.
I love this podcast.
Hello, exactly.
No. Alderston, Protestant. No.
Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday. This is take 664 of this episode of Addressing Gettysburg Today. Hi, Veronica. Welcome back.
We are determined to give the people what they want.
We are absolutely determined to give the people what they want, and they're going to get it whether they like it or not. And we have so much. But anyway, you're obviously, by the time you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice it's not live. We had to upload it because we have internet issues down here. I cannot wait, Ronnie, to move into the new studio where not only should internet issues not be a thing, but also heating and cooling. We have central air with a thermostat and everything. And we have heating and cooling in here, but we didn't have reliable electricity in here, as we learned this winter.
You'll also be able to walk to the bathroom still under the cover of shelter.
Yeah, right. You can go to the bathroom without having to walk out in the weather.
We're moving on up.
Moving on up
To the east side.
Moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up.
I felt like I was back at church, man.
Yeah. And so we will be moving on up to, and we're on the second floor of a nice brick building. No road noise, no buses idling outside or their little alarms going off or anything. It'll be wonderful. And not only that, but we have 2, maybe someday 3 rooms to work with. So the peanut gallery and Colby will be in one room looking at us through a window because they're smaller rooms.
That's right. I get my own room.
Yeah, you do. Like the room that we're in, like imagine a wall between us and Colby right now. That's basically, essentially the size of the 2 rooms. Yeah. So to squeeze everybody in one, I think you and I and whoever the guests will be squeezed into the studio room is going to be tight.
I hope it's a single guy.
It'll be 2 single guys.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, you're like my big brother.
I know.
Every
That's
time
gross.
you get feisty like that, I'm going to start calling you Victoria.
She is my bestie, so there we go.
Yeah,
She's
getting all romance novelly.
Yeah.
But no, so it's going to be good. I was in there yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I was in there yesterday painting, and Debbie came by after work and helped. Debbie, thank you very much. Meanwhile, Veronica was down in San Antone drinking and gambling like a degenerate.
You send a text message like 5 minutes before you're going to do a project. You're like, oh, hey, guys.
He does. I can attest to that. It is true. He'll hit me up.
Why would
He'll hit me up 5 minutes before something starts and be like, listen, I know this is last minute, but can you come down and work on this with me?
It's not like you just bought the paint yesterday and you were like,
That's true. I bought it last week.
Yeah. So why would you tell us that?
This just
last week.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Debbie, because this is where I was going to say. Go ahead.
Didn't you mention last week that it was going to be Wednesday?
I wasn't here last week, so you got to tell me.
Well, no, this was the test. It was to see if Veronica listens to the shows that she's not on.
Here's in Veronica's defense, though. In Veronica's defense, he mentioned working last week, but you can never rely on the day that he says he's going to work. You got to wait for that solid invitation.
That's sort of true. I did say that I might do a Tuesday as well, and Mike was all ready to do a Tuesday. I saw him Monday, and I was like, "You coming tomorrow?" He goes, "Yep." And then I had a meeting with my financial advisor in the morning, and then my accountant in the right after that. And I went and drank a whole bottle of whiskey.
I was going to say, did you feel like you got beat up after those 2 meetings back to back?
I was going to break into song there again, but I mean, not everybody has a financial
Whiskey River,
advisor.
take my mind.
No, moving on up, man. I thought, but the way you're painting it, forget it.
Yeah, no, it's not a good, it's not bad. It's just, you know what it is you're used to paying your taxes through W-2, through your employer.
Yep.
But when you're self-employed,
You got to save them jokers.
you got to pay the
Estimated
15%. Well, so that's the problem. I didn't file quarterly because the guy I had last year was like, "Yeah, I sent you some vouchers so you could file quarterly." And I didn't ask, and he didn't explain to me that it's not that you have to like do your end of the year returns every quarter. It's based on estimated. Yeah. And I didn't know that. And so I was like, I can't do that. I cannot go through that every quarter. Like, I just hate it. So I didn't do it. And then they fine you. But the thing is, the fine's like $135. That's not.
It's a percentage of, yeah.
Yeah. The problem is when you're self-employed, you pay 15% tax, employment tax. And when you're a normal person who goes and works for somebody else, you pay 7.5% and your employer pays 7.5%. But when you're your own employer and employee, you pay 15%. And then there's, whatever percentage of your taxable income there is and all that other stuff. So I told you, I
got to pass you on some advice that was given to me at one point.
Don't file.
I will not. I mean, if that's the road you want to take.
No, I don't want to go down that road.
But no, well, we both come from the insurance business realm.
Yes.
1099 employees and all that goodness.
Yes.
And my uncle has been in the business for 30 years now.
Right.
And when I first got into the business, he pulled me aside. He said, "Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, and if you don't listen to anything else I tell you, listen to this. When you get your money, not all of it is your money."
Yeah.
He said, take 20% of everything you make and put it in a separate savings account. That's the government's money. If you get to the end of the year and you got a little bit left over, it's like a little treat.
That's a treat. Yep. So I do that. I save 30%.
30?
Really?
That's a lot now.
Well, no, because my accountant's like, you should put aside 35.
What?
Yes.
Pennsylvania, man.
No, it's the federal government.
It's not the state taxes getting you too?
No, no.
Because when I worked in oil and gas, the state taxes kicked my butt, dude.
I owe a total of $9,000 and change. The federal tax was $7,000, and the rest of it was between state and local.
We all need to relocate to Florida where there's no state tax.
We all need to just like buy a big boat and go out in the middle of the ocean and just live there. I'm done. So anyway, and what sucks is I had saved that money with the intention of reinvesting it into addressing Gettysburg. And now it has to go to Uncle Sam. And, now nothing. So we're just going to continue the way we're going. And I think if any of the other, spin-off ideas I have for other businesses, I got to get a loan for them. I was hoping to save the money to invest myself, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I got something that we're cooking up over at America Fog of War that you might actually be interested in, sir.
What?
We'll have to talk about it a little later.
All right, we'll talk about it later.
Sneaky Ricky Recon kind of op,
I don't know what you just said, but all right, that sounds good.
Sneaky Ricky Recon.
Is that like a Cherry Lime Ricky or a Ricky Ticky Tacky?
Or same boat.
Yeah. All right. Ratatouille.
It's a party boat.
Well, it sounds good. But anyway, the new studio is going to be great. My friend Amy came by to look at it, and she was like, "Oh my God, you got to do this over here!" And I have no eye for any of that stuff. So I'm like, "Okay, yeah. Keep up with the ideas. Let me know." And but I have to tell you, when I went in there earlier before Debbie came, I was there for a few hours, and I get it all set it up, and put the tarp, the drop cloth down and all that stuff and get going. I'm painting. I got music blasting. I'm having a good time. I like painting. I find it relaxing. And I stepped back and kicked over the canning paint. I lost half of it.
Didn't.
I did. Because I didn't put it somewhere where I wouldn't kick it, obviously. And so then I used the puddle. I used the roller in the puddle. Didn't go to waste. I mean, just a little bit, of course, but so I got to use it anyway.
Waste not, what not.
Exactly.
But the spot was still tacky when I got there.
Yeah, it was still
hours
tacky.
later.
Yes. Oh, well, it was still fresh for sure. But
I can
done,
see
done?
you kicking the freaking can of paint over, dude. I can. It's so easy to visualize.
yeah, I stepped back and my heel hit it, and I just heard this noise, and I go, "Oh no!" And I turned around, and there was this black puddle of
Good thing
paint.
he had the drop cloth.
Yeah, thank God I had the drop cloth. And I tried for a minute. I was like, "What do I do? Do I take the drop cloth and like pull it together, make a funnel out of it, and try to get it into the pan?" And I
that
said,
sounds-
"No, I'm just going to use it as a pan instead."
Dude, that would have made an SNL skit if you'd have tried to put it back in the can.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
I know. Well, that's what I was afraid of. Not having an SNL skit, but
Squid?
having an SNL skit without an audience. That's
Because it's never
because
funny if
nobody
there's
would
no
believe it
audience.
if I
material.
Yeah, exactly. So, did you win gambling yesterday?
Did.
You did? How much did you win?
$340.
How much?
$340.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Dun-dun,
And you played poker.
dun-dun.
So you don't
Bullshot.
do like any slots or anything like that. You're not so much into gambling as you are poker.
Correct.
Okay.
Which is gambling.
Yes, but she's not a gambler.
Actually not. It's actually delineated as a game of skill in some states, which there's been a push to get it recognized that way for the federal government so that we can go back to online poker games. But that's the little caveat in like online gaming.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They call it Black Friday. It was like Friday after Thanksgiving, however many years ago, and like people lost a lot of money because all of the different gaming sites that ran poker at that time just basically shut down. The federal government just like seized all that money because it was illegal.
Right.
Yeah, but they've been, but
Yeah.
within independent states, there have been movements like you can gamble, you can play poker and gamble and sports book in Pennsylvania, in Maryland, Utah, Nevada, like different state, New Jersey. You can, so there's been a push to try to get them to kind of waive the federal whatever limitation there is on like going interstate between, like, for example, if you're sitting in Las Vegas, you could play a Pennsylvania player. Right now you can't. You can. It's within like the confines of the state somehow. So I actually don't play online because I actually don't trust that, more because of technology than I do about like losing my money because the federal government's going to seize it again. But
There is skill involved in
there's luck.
Hold'em.
There definitely is luck, but it's more skill than pushing like a button, or even really like card counting or something like that in blackjack. Those are considered games of chance. And poker is not in all jurisdictions. So
Yeah, well, that's interesting. So it's not considered gambling because it has to be a game
all
of
jurisdictions. But,
right,
yeah.
right.
The other big deal is you're not playing against the house. You're playing against other players, right? Like
Okay.
casino's not putting up their money. Like if they win a hand, they lose that money. No.
Right.
The casino makes the money by taking a percentage of what they call the rake, the pot. So like if the three of us are playing cards, it's only our money that's up for grabs. It's like the casino doesn't lose anything. They only gain the money for providing the dealer and spreading the game.
Yeah, I could see that then. All right. Well, and what do? You just sit there. How many hours were you there for?
I was there for a while yesterday.
And you just sit there the whole time and play? Yeah. Veronica's such a sadist because, what was it? When we were done, I said, Debbie, well, we don't have to. I offered, a little pizza party for anybody who helped. And so Debbie was the only one there. I go, well, you're the only one, so we don't need to do pizza. We could get whatever you want. So we went to ABC, and then Mike texted, and he said he was getting out of work. And I said, well, we're going to ABC. And then Veronica was like, oh, I'm on my way too. And then I said, well, meet us at ABC. And then she sent a picture of her at the poker table. She's like, I'm just kidding. I wanted to make it look like I was trying.
True story and verified.
Absolutely. I can show you the text too.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for that, fair weather friend.
Are they giving you free drinks the whole time though?
Yeah, do you get free drinks?
Maryland does not know. As a matter of fact, like if you want to drink, it's like $9 for a beer there. So I don't drink
What
when
a
I play.
bummer.
Because I think
That's half the fun of playing.
Well, yeah, but yeah, right. If you do you not drink because you're afraid you're going to make a wrong decision or something?
I mean, there are very small edges to be made anyway. So like if you're not thinking clearly or you're tired or you're whatever, like
That
So
makes
I
sense.
don't drink.
That does make
I'm
sense.
excited to have other people drink at my table. That's
Sure.
fun.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to get their money.
Potentially.
Now, do you sit there like with sunglasses on and like a baseball
I'm
like
not
this,
one of the
and
cool
you just kind of sit there and you're not really like
Yeah, there are some players that do. Even like some older guys.
Yeah.
You would not expect. Yeah. Some like 70, 80-year-old dudes like come in. With
Do you have a tell?
sunglasses. I'm sure I do of some kind.
You don't. Nobody told you what it is.
No. Why would anybody tell? I wouldn't tell anybody if I pick up on something. But it's not that easy. I mean, if you think about this, first off, it's not like it's the same 8 people you play with every single time. There's a pool of people, right? So like, you might get into a hand with one person 1 hour and not play another hand with them the rest of the time. I mean, or people come and go. You don't have to sit there for any length of time. I mean, it's like
there's multiple tables.
Multiple tables. You can move around. So I mean, you do start to see familiar faces, and you get some tendencies from people. Like there are definitely some people that I know if they're raising, they have a really strong hand to begin with. It's not worth like. Whatever. But other people are just, they'll play any single 2 cards, and you just have to kind of go with the odds at that point.
Now, how much do you hate the people that really don't know anything about poker, and they'll come in and ride like an offsuit king 7 and then get a full house off of it,
No, it's frustrating, but that's great because that's how I got hooked. Like I had no idea what I was doing when I first started, and I had some beginner's luck, and you get hooked. I mean, that's how you get like new play. But then... Yeah,
that money is intoxicating, right?
Yeah, sure. So anytime you can encourage the
bills,
players, that's awesome.
Dollar bills, y'all.
All right. So let's see the other thing here. Oh, we got some. Let me tease this here for the audience. So if you're not on Patreon, you're really going to be missing out this year, because we've been recording like crazy since winter started. And that's all thanks to Dave Bussier for doing that, for scheduling us. And let me just give you some things here. What the other thing that's great is Dave has made a spreadsheet. Now, I hate spreadsheets, but when someone else makes them, I don't mind them. I hate making them myself. So let me just give you some of the ones here that have not been released yet, but are in the can. Let's see. We've got one on Daniel's Brigade with Louis Trott. We have one on Perrin's Brigade with Lewis and Ben Quina. We have Longstreet's Countermarch with Jim Hessler.
I like old Jim Hessler, man.
Oh, sure. So we all do. Let's see. What else have we got here? The Florida Brigade, that came out already. Things that make you go, part 2 with Jason Heilman. People seem to like that. We're going through the top 10s a lot this year. Top 10 things to visit in the cemetery with Ralph Siegel. Top 10 infantry actions with Larry Korczyk. Korczyk. He told me how to pronounce it properly. Wounded Union officers with Rick Schrader. Father Corby with Kevin Bryant. That was fun. Should I stay or should I go? That is that is an Ask a Town Guide episode with Brad Gottfried. Let's see. Mike Rupert is going to come on. We haven't recorded that yet, but he's doing top 10 things to experience in Gettysburg. Those are, free ones. What do we have on Patreon? We've got, let's see, those have been released already. So let's see here. We've got Battery B, First Rhode Island, Part 2 with Stephen Evangelista. We did one last year. Talk about more guys in the Battery. Spectacle of Grief with Sarah Purcell. That's based on a book she wrote. Gettysburg Rebels. This time we're talking about C.W. Hoffman and his carriage making company down there in Shepherdstown, West Virginia.
So with Tom McMillan?
Tom McMillan, yep. Nice. Tom McMillan's back. Yep. Lincoln Comes to Gettysburg with Brad Gottfried. John Miller from the Shippensburg Cumberland Valley Historical Society comes on.
Let me stop you real quick.
Yeah.
So I joined that.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually, you did something, or I saw his name or something, whatever, and then something popped up on Facebook, and I joined the Historical Society. And one of the promos, this month it's a little bit different, but in April when I joined, or March when I joined, it was Crossroads of the Civil War or something like that. It's a book about Washington County, Maryland, or something like that. But it was like a promo to, if you're going to join, you get a book. This year it's something about this month it's something about the fort that's out there that they discovered. Anyway, I stopped up to go get my book, and John is like the coolest dude.
Yeah, nice guy.
He's just the nicest person. They have an awesome, it's a really neat display up there in the building. I'm definitely going to go back. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I mean, they have, for a smaller community like that, I mean, Shippensburg is not like, Philadelphia or something like that. It's a small community. This house is historic in and of itself, but then there's like 6 or 7 rooms full of exhibits and everything. It is really, really cool. So I would encourage anybody to go check it out, hopefully join. It's super relatively cheap, $25-$30 a year. It's not, expensive, but more importantly, go. They have some programming with living history and all those kinds of things. So check out the Shippensburg Historical Society.
Very good to know. All right, cool.
Good dude.
Let's see. Medicine Science, Making Race in the Civil War with Leslie Schwalm. Lisa Samia came on to talk about the nameless and faceless women of the Civil War. Dave Malgi, Relics, we just released that one there.
Stole Lisa from us? Is that what you're saying?
I got her first, yeah. Well, you got her first, but I stole her back.
Why would you do the women?
Why would I do the women?
Yeah, why would you?
Because I'm a male.
Uh-oh, everybody.
What? I mean, she wrote books about...
Bleep that.
She wrote books about the soldiers. Why would you not have picked one of those books and left the women to... That's what she said.
I
Why
think,
would you
honestly...
poach your own material, dude.
I honestly believe that Dave might have put the wrong title in there. It might have been about the soldiers because... no, it was about the soldiers. It was about brother. It was It was poems. It was poems.
Yeah.
You guys hear that?
Yeah. What?
It's the sound of Matt backpedaling.
Bethany, I'm taking care of it. Don't worry.
No, really. I think he just mislabeled it because it was about, like, there was a poem about a brother and a brother in a regiment, and one of them died, and the other one had to write home to mother about it. So yeah, so you're right. But also because the answer is she's a new guest to the show, so I'm going to introduce her to the audience before they hear her on your show. Dave Malgi, we did that. Chaplains. So there's a couple of episodes here. Religion in the Civil War with Pastor Andy Hart, which is very interesting, and the chaplain's role in the Civil War with Reverend Dr. Nancy Hale.
Oh, cool.
So we got that there. Adams County African Americans with Deb McCausland, just recorded that not too long ago. Nice. Spotlight on Rick Schrader. Spotlight on Jim Pangburn. Spotlight on Fran Fayoc. We fought at Gettysburg, 17th Connecticut. Carolyn Ivanov. Nice. Stand to It and Give Him Hell. John Priest. Masculinity in the Civil War. Megan Beaver. Spotlight on Me with Bob Steenstrup, but I'm not putting that out. Joseph Fuqua is on for a second time.
Ooh,
Angela.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, and it's nothing against Joey, but we had gotten all of our shits and giggles out earlier that day, and by the time we were sitting in here, we had lost all of our humor, so we just had a serious talk about I don't even remember. Spotlight on Six Questions. Our buddy Six Questions got his own spotlight, and someday, Veronica, we're going to do a spotlight on you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Spotlight on Lewis Trott as well, and we got a lot of other things in the works, but not necessarily released or recorded yet. Elizabeth Thorne on That's What She Said. The Powers Daughters with Deb Novotny. Kitty Payne with Deb McCausland. Cornelia Hancock with Carolyn Ivanov. Verena Davis with Dr. Ashley Lusky. Yeah. Am I missing anyone there? I think we got them all, right? Yep. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. So if you're not a patron, what is wrong with you? I mean, come on, become a patron. The thing is, and a lot of people, I think you should know this, because a lot of people don't apparently read what each level gets. So somebody like joins for $1, and then they go, I can't listen to any of the episodes. Obvi, the description for the $1 says you get our thanks. That's all you get. $3, I think you get to submit to Ask a Guides, but it's at the $5 level where you start getting episodes. $5 you get 2 episodes a month. $15, the $15 episode you get all the episodes a month, and then the $25 level you get all the episodes a month plus video versions when we have time to edit the video. And when I say the word we, I mean me, because that's it. So
isn't that the bane of all podcasters' existence, man?
It really is, and I'm not complaining because I chose to do it. You know, and eventually there are points where I'm like on a real tear to like edit some videos and put them up.
Yeah.
The problem with editing video is it's not necessarily, especially with these types of shows, it's not the editing that's the problem. It's the rendering out.
Yes.
And then the uploading that takes so long.
7 hours worth of waiting around.
It's all waiting. And then if you have like an internet timeout, like a lot of people don't realize, even at home. Now at home I use, Wi-Fi, so there's problems with that. But like even at home, the internet sometimes is not reliable. So I'll leave a video uploading and I'll go out and do stuff. And then I come back and it says, internet timed out or something like that. So I'm very much looking forward to getting into the studio because it's higher speed, it's business internet, it's not it's commercial internet, it's not residential.
And there, I will say, they charge you out the wazoo for commercial internet, but
yes,
it does make a difference.
And that makes a huge difference.
I uploaded a few days ago. I uploaded 14 videos to YouTube, scheduled about 14 videos, and something that would have, like at home, would have taken me probably 2 weeks to do.
Yeah.
And I did it in a day.
There you go. So that's all there with that. All right. So we have, let's see, on this show, we've got Pete Monahan on the show. Pete Monahan has Federal Point Inn and now the Federal Point Grill over on Buford Avenue. And so he's going to come in and talk about that. We've been trying to get Pete on for over a year, and it's not that it's hard to get him on. It's that every time we had him scheduled, we had an electricity problem. There was always something that got in the way.
We're quasi in a problem right now.
We have no internet now. It's almost over, folks.
Yeah.
It's almost over. You're going to be so surprised how it changes. And then Dr. Jen Murray's coming in during the news to talk about an event she has coming up at the Adams County Historical Society. Reportedly, Pete Carmichael is going to be shirtless at this. So that's what he said on the text message we just had before the show. So
it's a sexy man.
That's what I think, that he's trying to get more people to come in. That's the idea.
I think it'll work, to be honest with you. If we push this info out to the people, it'll be like a rock concert up in there.
You think?
I think so.
All right.
He does CrossFit. He's got.
He does do CrossFit.
He does.
Yeah,
I work.
I know
out.
you guys
I
work
see
out
him down
together.
there.
That's true. All right. Great. All right. So we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break and be back in a bit. We'll be right back.
Glad you used Dial? We are too. We'll be right back.
Want the freshest cup of coffee in Gettysburg? Then visit Bantam Roasters, formerly 82 Cafe at 82 Steinware Avenue. They roast all of their coffee in-house, and they have a full coffee bar to keep you caffeinated during your trip. Visit them at www.raggededgerc.com for their menu and shipping options for all of their freshly roasted coffee. Use promo code Hancock for 10% off your order in the cafe. Enjoy historical stories on the History Fix platform. Explore movies, short films, and documentaries. Addressing Gettysburg podcast fans receive an extra $5 off the first year's annual subscription. Sign up at historyfix.com and use promo code Gettysburg. Every subscription includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Escape into history with History Fix.
This episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part by me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savis Beattie's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com.
The 1863 civilians of Gettysburg were reluctant witnesses to the Great Battle. Join Ken Rich, the man in the red shirt, for his historic town walking tours. You could book these tours by emailing ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. That's ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. And when you're in town, look for the guy in the red shirt.
And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Callery.
Over 1 million total downloads and counting. You're back with AG Today.
Alrighty. All right. Veronica and our guest Jen Murray are hugging, so right now we'll just give Jen a
It's a girl thing. Just get off.
Second. Pardon me. Jen, grab those headphones there, and that's what you're going to be talking into. So for those of you who were listening in the first segment there, we said Pete Monahan's coming on. I just went out in the parking lot, and I didn't see him. So I don't know. Maybe he didn't know or forgot or something. But Jen Murray was waiting out there, and so I said, Jen, come on in. And what are you doing, Colby? What are you confused? Trying to get her in the shot. Okay, gotcha. And so let me get this microphone out of your face as well. We are so disorganized today.
What else is new?
I know.
It would not be Addressing Gettysburg live if we weren't disorganized.
I know.
People wouldn't know what to do if we actually had
if we actually had our shit together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What is this and where are my favorite people?
Yeah, exactly. Who are these competent people?
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Money back.
But anyway, Jen Murray, welcome back to Addressing Gettysburg.
Thank you.
So you have a big event coming up this weekend, and as I was saying before the break, Pete Carmichael is going to be shirtless.
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor.
I'll be there.
So Colby will be there to see a shirtless Carmichael. Now, why that? Why cheapen it with a shirtless Carmichael?
Well, he recommended it.
Oh,
so
it's his idea.
They thought it was good for attendance. Maybe?
You know what? This is you guys are such a fun group of academics because you have a sense of humor, right? And you don't take yourselves too seriously, but you do some seriously good work. Which is cool, because usually, I think of academics, professors as, stuffy people with the tweed jackets and the elbow pads and all that.
Scarves.
Shirtless with just a scarf. Yeah, you know what I mean.
We need to make a calendar.
But you guys have a good sense of humor about yourselves. And that's funny. I like that. And I think that endears you guys to the public. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I certainly agree, obviously. And Pete's one of my longtime favorite academics. I've known him since I was a graduate student. So he's never changed. He's always been like this, very gracious with his time and just a wonderful personality.
He really is.
And it's easy to get interested into the Civil War because he cultivates that kind of spirit and draws you in with his personality. And just, he's a top shelf historian. So
something's in the water.
Is it the water?
I think it's the water. Lead is in the water, and that's what makes everybody a little fun around here. I mean, I know you don't live here, but you just happen to be fun.
Seasonally, I drink the water.
You seasonally
here.
drink the water, and that's enough.
It sustains me for the year.
That's all you need. I mean, really, I don't know what it is, but all right. So what's going on this weekend? It's at the Adams County Historical Society.
Right. So at the Adams County Historical Society this weekend, we Oklahoma State. So I'm sure your listeners know I'm a Civil War historian in the Department of History at Oklahoma State. We are collaborating with ACHS to do a Civil War weekend at the museum. And we have 4 speakers, which I can run down in a minute for the weekend. But I wanted to emphasize this event, and there's so many talks going on around Gettysburg at any particular time of the year, and you all do a series of different talks too, but this one I think is particularly unique because the revenue is going to be used for Civil War student-led initiatives at Oklahoma State University. So
nice.
The money that we generate from it will be split with ACHS and OSU. I have a Civil War scholarship fund, and all the money that is taken on my half will go into that account to allow for students, for instance, to come to Civil War Institute. You interviewed actually 2 of my students last year.
Yes, I did.
Who came to CWI. I have 2 students this year coming to Civil War Institute. One's just graduated with their bachelor's degree, and the other one just finished her first year of her master's degree program. So this is a big deal. We live here, year-round, me seasonally. So we maybe take Gettysburg for granted a little time, but these students in Oklahoma have never been east. They've never been to Pennsylvania. They've never been to Gettysburg. So this fundraiser will provide money for them to have these kinds of immersive experiences and train the next generation of Civil War students. And Pete is really passionate about that. I'm very passionate about getting young students interested in the Civil War. So this event will help me help them have these kinds of experiences.
Are you going to be at the summer conference this year?
I am. Yeah, I'm on
Very
the
nice.
schedule to do a First Corps talk. In fact, I think we're going to chat that Monday after
Did
my tour.
Dave contact you about that?
Yep,
Okay,
Monday
good.
at 5. And then I'm doing one on the 11th Corps redeems itself July 2nd at Gettysburg. And then I'm doing one of the classroom sessions on the Army of Tennessee.
Mike was very excited about the 11th Corps one there.
I got excited.
Wait, sorry, Cole, go ahead.
I was getting excited about the First Corps. That's McKenry used to be in charge of that.
Oh, yeah? Okay, very nice.
That's my favorite Union Corps. It's a good one.
He wasn't in charge here at Gettysburg. I think he had since passed. But Edwin Sumner is a relative of mine.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why is that interesting? Why do you make that face?
It's not the best general in combat, but he's a bull. He's a bullhead.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who had claim ancestor to Sumner.
Well, Colby's a unique guy.
My last name is Sumner, so I guess I can't deny it too much.
So, we're going to interview you during that time. I look forward to that. We were going over the schedule the other day, and we were like, man, we need extra hands because there's so many things. A lot of things are going on simultaneously. Other things, like I'll be interviewing somebody while there's another thing going on that we're going to interview that person for later. So like someone has to go and like take some bullet points so I know what the hell to ask them about. And we're going to just record some lectures or some of the panels and just put them out like we do the winter lectures, because I think that'll help the CWI.
Right. Yeah.
I want to get more people coming out there next year because it's so much fun.
Yeah. It's the best Civil War conference of the year.
Yeah.
Nothing else surpasses CWI in quantity of talks and programs and diversity.
Yeah.
The blend of public historians and academics. It's so hospitable. There's a place for everybody at CWI.
Yeah. It kind of feels like they should call it, like, instead of a conference, like summer camp, because it feels like summer camp. Because, people stay in the dorms. And, we're eating in the cafeteria and, it's I don't know, like it's fun and you're with a lot of like-minded people. So everybody's nice and everybody's having a good time, happy to be there. And I don't remember the schedule last year being so, it seems like it was more robust this year. Like there seems to be so much more going on, but maybe I was just kind of in a haze last year because Eric
we were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was our first year trying to cover it and trying to figure out. We were kind of figuring out as we were going, as you know. I mean, I tried to talk to you in the hallway and we were like, how can we get you in? Because everybody was running everywhere. But I think last year was pretty robust too. But it does seem like there's a lot of simultaneous talks, like different, like 5 or 6 different breakout sessions at a time here and stuff. So
and a lot of different people. Like it's really a cool thing to do. And so you got those two, the 1st and 11th Corps. Are you doing any of the? Are those like while everybody's eating? What do they call those?
The dine-ins? No.
The dine-ins.
I don't think so.
No, these are the full day tours. So the 11th Corps is the 5:30 to 8:30 one. And then the 1st Corps one, I'll be out on the field from 8 to 12. Then we break for lunch. And then we do a classroom session to work through some primary documents and maybe address things that we didn't talk about on the field. So if you're interested in either the 11th or 1st Corps, those are good opportunities to just immerse in the topics and the stories of the men and commanders.
So those are day-long tours out on the battlefield.
They are.
Yeah, and that's Monday? One of them is Monday, I think?
I think one is Saturday and one is Monday.
Okay.
I think the 11th Corps is Saturday and then Monday.
That's what I wanted to do.
1st Corps.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to, I think I'm being a little overzealous or a little gluttonous because I'm trying to do my job and then also participate, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it.
Well, we all feel the same way, right? The faculty members that Pete brings in to present, I will be out on the field doing a tour, and I'm looking at the itinerary too. Like, I would love to hear this talk.
Right.
But there's so much to pick from, and there's something for everyone. If you like military tactics and battles and strategies, or you like social or political, cultural history, memory, any topic, there's something there to get you into the Civil War, and it's just a great environment. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are going to be there again.
Oh, yeah.
Help promote the event. And
I hope they keep having us back because it's a lot of fun. And I think this year I have a better plan as to what to do show-wise, like as far as releases go. Because last year, all those interviews we did that you came in the room and sat down for and everything, I put them on our Patreon. My original idea was to do like kind of like an NPR style thing where we talk about our weekend and then I'll like, highlight things with different clips and stuff.
Do it in a very monotone fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we showed up Friday night, and there we saw everyone checking in. We knew that the next day would be robust for us. Okay. I like the word robust. Okay. Anyway, so I think this year
Jen's very fascinated by you. She just kind of sits back like, I don't know about this.
I'm sorry.
Looking back.
You have a really
Veronica.
attractive voice.
Thank you. And it doesn't mesh with the face. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a little incongruent. Is that? It's a little incongruent.
I can't reconcile your face with your voice. Thank you, Jen. Thank
He's really
you.
got a face for radio.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my God.
Now you threw me off. What were we talking about?
Robust.
Yeah, NPR. Oh, yeah. So this year it's a little different. We're going to have some stuff, out, and I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about what's coming up this weekend, though. What's coming up this weekend exactly? What are you going to talk about this weekend? And who are the other people? You said you would mention the other people.
Yeah, so I wrote it
back.
down to make sure that I didn't confuse anybody. So the event kicks off on Saturday with John Heiser at 10:30.
Good one.
And John will be talking on the 1913 reunion. You know, John's done a ton of work on that topic, so we're lucky to have him on board. And then the afternoon will be Chris Gwynn, who's also a
good one,
familiar face to your show.
Oh, sure.
And he's talking about William Robbins and some of the early park history and creation of the Gettysburg battlefield. That's Saturday, and that's at 2:30. Then Sunday is academic day, and Sunday I will start at 10:30. I'm going to be talking on Meet at Gettysburg.
Nice.
And then at 2:30 will be Pete talking about
Shirtless Pete.
Shirtless Pete. talking about John Butch. Are you all Bruce Springsteen fans?
Yes. This one
so
is.
Yes. Do you see now? And he didn't do this when we talked about this on Facebook. When I saw him, he didn't take his shirt off, but you see he's doing that now.
Okay.
On 10th Avenue Freeze Out on the Encore, he stands in front of the crowd and he just rips open his shirt.
Really?
Now, Bruce Springsteen's
He's in good
73
shape.
years old,
Yeah.
right? And there's probably few people that could pull that off.
Yeah.
But
he's one of them.
So,
Geraldo,
yeah.
Bruce Springsteen, Pete Carmichael, and myself are the ones the ones that can pull that off.
A few scarves to pull that off.
Yeah. I'll just keep my shirt on. So Bruce has always been in good shape, though. Springsteen.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's easy for him to do that at 73 because he never really fell out of shape.
Some people are just genetic freaks, though.
Well, and there is that. Yeah, you could tell that he might have the genes for that type of bodacious bod, if you will. Did he do that when you went to the concert and didn't come on the show?
He didn't completely rip it open, but he definitely had a couple more buttons undone. But
What was the big thing that you missed? Was that the March 18th show? Is that
it was Adam's County Historical launch. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, Bruce or Justin Gettysburg. Bruce or Justin. plus, my buddy Glenn, who literally flew in from Las Vegas
blame it on
to take
Glenn.
me. Yes, so that was
Poor Glenn, always getting the blame.
I know, poor Glenn.
Anyway, what else is? I'm sorry, we keep going off.
No, that's fine. So that Pete wraps out that day on the 21st on Sunday, and then we're going to do the same thing in July. So I can run down the July itinerary, or
Go ahead.
wait till July maybe.
Well, both. Why don't we do both?
Yeah, because tickets are on sale for both of them now, or just this weekend?
Well, thank you for mentioning that. You can get the tickets on ACHS's website, click the event tab, and you can buy. And again, I'll say the money, it's $50 for the weekend, which includes the 4 talks and admission to the Beyond the Battlefield Museum, which is a pretty good deal for 4 talks and admission to the museum. And again, the money goes 50-50 to ACHS and then Oklahoma State Civil War Scholarship Fund.
Nice. So it's going to a good cause.
It's going to a good cause. So help ACHS and my students in Oklahoma State have Civil War experiences.
How have you been otherwise? We haven't seen you since, I guess that would be last July when we were talking about the cornhole incident, the great cornhole incident of 2022.
Good. I have a second edition of my Gettysburg book coming out, which will be out for the 160th, and that will take the story up to 2023. So I'm excited about that. So we'll have a preface that will cover...
What's the name of it?
On a Great Battlefield.
And where can people get it? Anywhere?
Amazon or, anywhere. So initially when the book came out, it ended in 2013 at the 150th. So this new edition will cover the last 10 years, which, as you all know, because you've lived here, there's a lot of work going on and good and bad changes occurring at the battlefield. So,
and for people who aren't familiar with it, what do you focus on in the book?
So my book starts with the 1933 when the National Park Service acquired the Gettysburg battlefield. So it focuses on the 20th century and now into a more modern time, the 160th.
Very nice. And
as an aside, if you join the Addressing Gettysburg book club,
that's right.
That will be one of the selections coming up. And Dr. Murray has been kind enough to say that she will join us to talk about the book live.
Steve texted me today and he said that you guys are lined up.
Yep.
August the 2nd.
Very good.
So that's one of the books coming up.
It's a crazy group of people, by the way, Jen. You think this is crazy and unorganized?
No, the book club is organized.
The book club is actually like
Steve
military precision. Yeah.
He has the chapters we're going to read for like months in advance of the different books.
Don't let this confuse you about that.
Yeah. Steve's legit. He's a teacher. He's an educator.
We met him at the Farnsworth House. Why was he there with us on the anniversary?
Like geeking just like I was. Like, oh my God, it's Jen Murray and Mike Worker. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
What? When was that?
Well, I mean, it was a day you weren't around. I don't know.
Were you doing things without me? What's that about?
You didn't get invited to something?
Yeah, what the?
This is your chance. Get back in.
The F. It's my chance. Oh God! All right, so good. So you've been doing well, and then you're gonna. When do you move up here finally? Or for the season? Are you up already?
I'm here.
You're here,
right?
So you're done with school.
School is done. I submitted my final grades. Final exams are done. Everything's done. So here we are.
Yeah.
I have a question about your students.
Yeah, please.
So do you like seeing like, I feel like interest in Civil War history specifically. I mean, I think all American war history, you can kind of see this, but I feel like the interest in it ebbs and flows. Do you feel like it's in a good place right now? Like the interest is enthusiastic and there's a lot of kids wanting to enter into, studying about the Civil War? Or where do you see it, the position of Civil War education and preservation as far as in the younger generations? Where do you see that lying?
That's a great question. And that's something I will say maybe worried about when I moved to Oklahoma, just because it's west of the Mississippi and it's not convenient to get to a battlefield like we can just walk up to Gettysburg or Antietam. So they don't have these tangible battlefield landscapes to draw themselves into, which is how I got into the Civil War. But I will say, pleasantly surprised that the interest in Civil War at Oklahoma State has been really high. Oklahoma has its own interesting Civil War history, too. Of course, it's a territory, and they have several battles out there. The Battle of Honey Springs is fought in July of 1863. But it's a really diverse area to study the Civil War with Union Confederate soldiers and USCT troops and Native American tribes who are fighting on both sides of the Civil War. So they get into the Civil War that way. A lot of them are of indigenous descent, so they're interested to hear about like what the Choctaws were doing during the Civil War or what the Creeks were doing during the Civil War, which was
that is interesting.
Kind of a new learning curve for me because I didn't grow up studying that part of the Civil War even through graduate school, but it's the way kind of the field is moving in that direction. So that's a long-winded explanation to your question, but I feel really comfortable about where young people are, and again, like this event with ACHS is me giving them opportunities to come out to Gettysburg and further immerse themselves in the Civil War.
But I bet they're so stoked about that, dude.
Yeah, they're really stoked. I have a pretty healthy graduate student contingent too, students working on their master's degree, and I have a PhD student working on Civil War topics with me at OSU, so I feel pretty good about the younger generations. I know it's popular to lament the young kids these days, but
honestly,
they're definitely interested.
Well, the reason why I ask is I feel like just from I do a podcast separate from this show. It covers all American, all U.S. military war history, and I feel like when I look at my demographics, that like the audience engagement, I would think that it would typically be in the 40s to 50s age range is what I would assume I would see the most of. But honestly, my biggest audience is the 24 to 30 year old age range, and then the second biggest one is 16 to 23. So I feel like it's picking up among these younger generations, and it's exciting to think about,
Yeah, and they're really interested in more modern Civil War or more modern military history.
World War II is hard to get away from.
They're interested in World War II, but they're really interested in Vietnam, and that's probably the most popular class I teach at Oklahoma State is the Vietnam War class.
Because it's their grandfather?
It is their grandfather, their great uncle. Yeah. Like they have a familiar connection to it that they can talk to someone.
It's also fascinating. I on our show, we just put out an episode about MAC VSOG recon teams, and I mean, it sounds like a movie script when you read those guys' stories. So I mean, that's completely understandable.
Vietnam pisses me off. I can't, the Ken Burns Vietnam film, I didn't know that much about it, and I watched that, and I just got so angry that they just wasted that whole generation. Our government did, and I don't like that at all. So it's very hard for me to watch Vietnam anything because it just really makes me angry.
Well,
sorry.
Do you think that the video games kids play nowadays motivate their interest in wars because they grew up playing video games about Vietnam, like Call of Duty Black Ops and all that stuff? It's funny the influence that things like that have over your interests, you know?
Yep. And I'll frequently have students ask me, "Hey, Dr. Murray, are you playing?" No, Dr. Murray's not playing video games. So I don't have the point to relate to, but I hear them talking about it all the time, and it seems like they get engaged to it that way. Like, it's that Antietam depiction. I have no idea if it's accurate in a video game, but you tell me.
They're amazing, some of these games
Some of them
now.
really are, man. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, there's a game that came out for the computer called Medal of Honor Allied Assault. And
I remember that.
It had a D-Day land, like you landed on Omaha Beach, and I must have played that one level 300 times and was excited every time I played it.
Yeah. My brother-in-law and I used to fight over the game, like because he lived with us for a while, and so I'd be home already, and then he'd come home from work, and he was like, "Oh man, I wanted to play." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'm almost done." And like 2 hours later, I'd be like, "All right, here."
Dude, you learn about like the North African campaign from that game, and Algiers and Casablanca and all that stuff. I mean, there's so many facets of the war that you probably wouldn't learn at that early age unless you had someone really feeding you the information.
Sure, yeah.
And the video game kind of forces it upon you and makes you realize, how epic some of these other things outside of Omaha Beach might have been, thank you for answering. I appreciate that. That was, I was just curious about that since you are a professor at a university, a very well-established and popular university. I was curious to see what the Civil War interest level was like.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Feel good about it. Feel optimistic about the future.
Good, I do. Yay.
So
at least on that front.
off, but the July speakers.
July.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, July.
So July, the July dates, and this is the 22nd and 23rd. So we'll have the 160th. We can have a little bit of moment to recover from that, and then Bike Week, and then we can do ACHS.
Jeez.
So
Bike Week.
I'm real happy with all the speakers. We put together a pretty dynamic lineup. July 22nd in the morning, Saturday. John Hennessy kicks the event off. John, if your listeners aren't familiar with him, he's the retired chief historian at Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania, and absolutely one of my favorite Civil War historians. He's going to be talking about the Army of the Potomac and sort of its culture and some of its commanders.
Sounds intoxicating. Get it, Hennessy?
Right.
It's an alcohol. All right, never mind.
No,
Keep going. Sorry.
I laughed at it, Matt.
Thank you, Colby.
The afternoon on the 22nd is Sue Boardman. Who's
Yes.
a local friend of the show, no doubt.
Oh,
and
sure.
She's going to be talking about the establishment of the Soldiers National Cemetery. And then on July 23rd, which will be Sunday, Scott Hartwig, who I doubt needs an introduction to your listeners.
It sounds familiar.
Never heard of him.
He will be talking about Antietam, and his book will be out by then for sure.
Good.
And then that day we'll wrap up with Dr. Jim Rumal at Shepherd and Dana Schoaf of Civil War Times, and they will be talking about Culp's Hill.
Nice.
So if y'all have books that you want any of these historians or scholars to sign, please bring them along. They're going to do a book signing over at ACHS, or they will be selling books over there too. So if you haven't got Scott's book yet or got it signed, that's a great opportunity to do so in July.
Yeah, and so when is his second volume out?
Nice. He posted about that on Facebook recently. It's with the press, and I think he said June. It's on the horizon, and I'm
excited about it. It was the best, so far. That is the best book I've ever read about Antietam. Is his first to Antietam Creek? It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible the way he's written it. And
See, I've held off on getting the first one because I want to get them both together.
I've been fiending, man. I've been fiending for the because it doesn't even get into the battle. It's everything leading up to the battle,
right?
And it's so freaking good, man.
Yeah. Okay. August 22nd, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
very good.
They sometimes, like Amazon or whoever, they somehow get like early editions or because this is towards the end of July, so who knows?
We'll
see.
Or maybe Scott will have authors' copies and could sell them there. So it might be an opportunity to get one of the early off
That'd be neat.
Do you, since it seems that our other guest did not show up today, do you have time to stick around at the next segment? Veronica does the news. It's everybody's favorite time of the day.
She got a jingle and everything.
She has a jingle. You know, you've heard the show.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
If you want me to, or if you think I have anything
Well,
valuable to say.
you're more than, well, just join the conversation. It doesn't have to be anything valuable. Have I said anything valuable in the 5 years I've been doing this? No, but.
You've heard the conversation thus far. You've been the only one that sounded educated.
Damn, those 11 years of college paid off.
Yeah. I know. Okay, so that's what we're going to do then. We'll take a break and come back and do the news, Ronnie's news. Everybody loves the news, and then we'll see where this leads. I feel like we're in a mood today that might be a moose crazy. So we'll be right back.
Want to promote your Gettysburg business? Send an email to sales@addressinggettysburg.com.
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum, is housed in the historic Lutheran Seminary building constructed in 1832, a witness to the first day of battle. The museum's 3 floors of exhibits connect visitors to the dilemmas that led to the Civil War, provide a powerful and personal view of the battle's first day, and explore one of the battlefield's largest hospitals. No visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center is complete without a guided tour of the building's famous cupola, where on the eve of battle, officers and civilians saw thousands of Confederate soldiers' campfires burning to the west, and Brigadier General John Buford watched for vital federal reinforcements as fighting erupted on the morning of July 1st. Today, you can stand where Buford stood and discover how this view helped chart the course of the Battle of Gettysburg. Your trip to Gettysburg is not complete without a serious visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum. Purchase tickets online at seminaryridgemuseum.org or call 717-339-1300. To get tickets or a cupola tour, listeners may call or walk in and mention Addressing Gettysburg, or by ordering online using the promo code AG1863 for 20% off. Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. It began here.
There's a devil to pay.
If you're a lover of history, then go to trhistorical.com. There you'll find apparel, drinkware, decor, and more featuring a wide range of interests from the ancient world to the Cold War. Looking to make an impression with the perfect gift? Well, TR Historical now offers gift cards and a vintage wrapping service for a truly unique presentation. And our listeners will receive 10% off plus free shipping in the U.S. when you use promo code GBERG1863. So go to trhistorical.com, TR Historical, for the love of history.
Think outside the bus and let family-owned Gettysburg Tours take you on a cycling journey across the picturesque and historic Gettysburg battlefield. There's no better way than by bicycle to gain a feel for the terrain of the battlefield. Slow enough to see it all, yet fast enough to do it all. Follow the route of Union troops entering the fray as you ride to the site of the first shots of this epic 3-day battle. Feel the drama as you put yourself in the position of a Confederate soldier just before he steps off to make Pickett's charge. Take a stand with the heroic Colonel Chamberlain on the slopes of Little Round Top just before you view the fields of honor beneath you from its summit. All of our guides are officially licensed by the National Park Service, so don't get a sore neck trying to see out of your car, and saddle up with Gettysburg Tours for a 360-degree view of America's most important piece of real estate. Gettysburg Tours. Think outside the bus. Go to gettysburg.com or call 717-752-7752 to book a battlefield experience you will never forget.
You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going, but one way we haven't pushed too much is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. That's a shame because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or use sip from your mug. So head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop.
Have you noticed our revamped website at addressinggettysburg.com? Well, that's the fine work of a man named Mike Stretch, and he also redid our logo for us. Both of them I originally designed, and both of them were originally horrible, but now they're nice, and that's all thanks to Mike. Mike has an awesome t-shirt company called Heritage Depot. There you'll find great designs based on Gettysburg and the Civil War with t-shirts and other types of merchandise. So go to heritage-depot.com and spruce up your Gettys Nerd wardrobe. That's heritage-depot.com. Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used. And online, they have even more to choose from. And if the Civil War isn't your thing, that's not a problem. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books. It's astounding how many thousands of titles from Osprey, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more they have in their store. And that's because, well, they have a warehouse too. And that's where they keep all the books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs. And if you prefer to stop by when you're in town, well, you could do that too. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com, stop by 42 York Street, or you can call them at 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
You're listening to the man who refuses to travel while single. I love that I never read these before I start this one. Okay, all right.
That's interesting.
You're listening to the man who refuses to travel while single. Here's Matt.
You hit the nail on the head.
Hi, everybody. We're back. So we're back. So before we get into the news, there, I guess Pete just forgot or didn't notice it or something like that. So, you should check out Federal Point if you come to town. Stay at Federal Point, and if not, if you don't stay there, there's a restaurant and a bar downstairs, and then they now used to be Dunlap's next door. Now it's Federal Point Grill. I was just there. I actually had breakfast there this morning.
We had breakfast once already.
We did.
Mom and I had lunch. Yeah.
Yep. We had
a combinations with what the Lucky Truck used to offer. I'm assuming still offers, but like a lot of wraps and sandwiches and things like that for like lunch selections.
What's the Lucky Truck?
The black food truck that used to be in the square during COVID, but now it's out by the old Reynolds Center.
Yeah, out on 30. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 30 east of town. Yeah, okay, right. And so they're
in partnership. That's the cook. Like that's why
I didn't know that.
The menu says like whatever, the Lucky Wrap, the Lucky.
Okay, that makes sense then. All right, so then so go check that out, and we'll get Pete on at some point, I'm sure, because we've been I don't know why it's like cursed. He's like a cursed guest. Like every time we try to get him on, something happens, and sometimes it's just forgetfulness, sometimes it's electricity. God only knows. But Federal Point and he used to own Lee's headquarters. So if you guys remember when there was a hotel up by Lee's headquarters, Pete's the guy who owned that. And then he sold that or got rid of that somehow. And then
like an ABC or something? That was where
ABC was out there originally. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
It was that was their first location. Yeah. And you know what? I didn't like it back then. But it's awesome. It's improved. Yeah, it's much better now. It's improved a whole lot now. I know. I'm sorry. All right, and then also I want to tell you guys about new sponsors, and I have a question for you. So one of our new sponsors is author Jonathan Lucci, and he wrote the novel Heaven's Falling. And the other one is the Association of Licensed Battlefield Guides. They were sponsor last year for all their summer programs, and so they are going to be running ads soon. And I was trying to record their ad earlier today, and Colby was here, and
it was great. I wish everybody would have been here.
Yeah. So usually, here's what happens when you advertise. I say, write something for me to read.
Yeah.
And then people often pick the 15-second, the top of the show, because it's 15 seconds. It's the cheapest one. It's the cheapest one because people skip it. And so everybody goes for it. And I tell them, the middle break it's more expensive, but that one people sit through. Yeah. And then the second one that people sit through is the end break. But I understand, we got inflation and stuff like that. And so people don't have a lot of money to spend. And so I'm not being ungrateful. I'm just saying, so 15 seconds. But then, have you ever heard the expression, shoving 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag? Like, that's what everybody does. They're like, okay, I got 15 seconds. Everything I've ever done in my life is going to go in there. And it's just like a 3-paragraph thing. So I'm reading it and I'm trying to read it quickly. And then what'll happen is when I go and I edit it, I can speed it up even more. But, so I'm reading it quickly to speed it up more so that maybe I can get somewhere close to 25 seconds, let alone 15. And so Jessie Weedleton wrote the copy, and she goes, okay, I sent you the copy. I wrote it, thinking of your voice in my head and everything like that. And it's like, it's everything that the guides ever wanted to do. And so, or ever did, or, and every paragraph ends with, so go to, whatever the website is, and then call, and, all this stuff. So I'm reading it, and Colby's sitting here, and I'm tripping over words, and I'm adding words that aren't even in there. And he thinks I should, every once in a while, play my outtakes. Because I get angry, and I curse, and I yell, and at myself.
Yeah.
Because I just want to get it over with.
I think you should start reading them live, man.
Well, I want to start doing live reads for commercials, but no one has chosen that option yet.
You can do ours. I can't pay you, but you can do ours.
That's why no one's chosen. Yeah, that's why nobody has one. The only one I do is this one. This segment is brought to you by Von Dettem & Co., makers of fine leather goods. Our friend Eric, the producer, Moni, he's still alive, even though he's not on the show. You might be thinking he might be dead, but he's not. He's still alive, and he's well. He's doing very well, and he says to tell you, please buy some of his leather goods. Belts, bags, wallets. I don't know if he does like a full wallet, but he does these, these awesome cartridge box business card holders. And I'll show you here. It looks like a little cartridge box there, right? Isn't that cute? You could throw some business cards in there. He makes so many things. And maybe you have an idea of something that you would like to see in leather, and say, hey, Eric, do you think you could make this? Give him a couple days to look into it and see if he could do it. If he can, he's like, yeah, I could do it. He really does a fantastic job. It's quality stuff, right? You have some of his stuff.
I do.
Yes.
It
so
is
do
quality.
I.
It's quality.
You've got some, Colby?
I don't own any yet. The thing is
we don't need a big essay here, Colby. What do you have one or not?
He's got great quality stuff, but I think people need to start requesting Eagle Globe and Anchor products from him.
What?
Eagle Globe and Anchor, the Marine Corps emblem.
Eagle Globe and Anchor. I thought you said hemoglobin anchor, and I was like, I don't understand. What does that have to do with blood?
But I think you do that, two things will happen. One, his blood pressure will rise.
Yeah, he hates the Marines.
And two, there'll be products more in line with, that I can give out for gifts. I got a bunch of buddies that I was in the Corps with.
Oh, there you go.
I'd love to give some leather products.
You know what?
Too.
Ask him to do it on a little keychain, because those are pretty popular. He has a nice keychain that he makes.
Marines only go big, dude. Big keychain.
Well, the Marines. Eric always said Marines are compensating for something, so that makes sense.
For the Army is what they're doing.
That's a good one.
The Navy.
For our listeners that don't know, Eric was in the Army, so this is where this is not. We're not bashing the military here.
No. This is
full disclaimer.
Yeah. It's all good fun. Anyway,
I love Eric. Eric's the man. His leather stuff is impeccable, and it smells delicious.
It smells fantastic, and I love it. Like what I do when I get something, I spend the first 3 or 4 days smelling it.
Mm-hmm. I've seen him do it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So anyway, I believe he started a Facebook page, so go and find that, Von Dettem & Co. On Facebook. And if you want to get one, go to send an email to vondettumandco@gmail.com. That's VONDETTUMANDCO@gmail.com. gmail.com. That's what a live read would be like.
See, and that's the best part so far.
That was
I
great.
agree.
I mean, any advertiser, I can't imagine why they would have any
Listen, it's a
hesitation whatsoever.
personal touch. I'll tell you what.
People would watch that.
People like that stuff. Yes, they like advertisements that go off the rails. I don't know why. Howard started that, and everybody loved it, and he charged more for that shit. So anyway, that is that there. What was it I wanted to tell? Oh, I told you about that. Yeah. So do you think would you think that would be interesting if I mean, I guess you'd have to hear them. The outtakes, I'm sorry, for the ads. Should I play those like every once in a while if there's any good ones? You know, I'd have to do a lot of bleeping, but I think I shouldn't play them.
I think so.
I
think we could have like a judging contest. You know, just give them a score. Like, ooh, that was a 7. You know, that freak out was a 7.
Okay.
Or this week's was only a 6. You know, like. Might be kind of fun, man.
Yeah, I'll have to go through.
Actually, get some pushback from some folks that listen with their kids. Like, all joking aside.
I'll bleep it.
Okay.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'll bleep it. No,
I wasn't sure, like, if you remembered having that conversation.
Son of a bleep.
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't want to turn this. I don't want to curse like that. You know, the S word the A word, whatever.
I have to vouch for you though. Here, there is nothing more frustrating than trying to record an ad and tripping over the words 1 million times in a row.
And especially because
finding dark places in your soul.
You do, and especially because they're not your words, and then you realize if I'm going to do this right, I have to rework the words, so it's more work for me.
Extra work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, Cameron, don't do that.
Don't be coming in here and cussing,
Cam.
Cam.
Have guest commercial readers like Dr. Murray and whoever else.
Yeah, so she gets all frustrated. Yeah, that's not nice.
No, I
well, I have Casey Turbin do it.
Do it better than you.
No, maybe.
I'm suggesting.
She's used to reading in front of people. That's probably. Or I could get Colby to do one. Maybe Cameron. Would you do one, Cam?
I'm not the best reader.
What? I can't believe that.
Well, I can read, but.
What did I miss? What happened? What happened? Where are you going? What happened?
She had to do a lap real quick.
What happened? What are you? Veronica took her headphones off and got up and walked across the room. Did you break wind? What happened?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
I can read, but I'm not the best out.
What did I miss?
I don't know.
All right, Grizzly Adams. What? You can't read.
I'm not taking Dr. Murray to play poker. Is all I'm going to say.
Students said that all the time.
Okay.
Hey, that makes for great TV, though.
Go ahead, Kev. You can't read.
I'm not the best, read out.
Well, that's why we have editing. We have the ability to edit. You know,
I say you make them do it live, man.
No,
a live
that's
read.
where the magic is.
I wish I had something for you to read. Would you read the copy that I read off? You have to come to my computer.
No, wait, that's not fair. Because
No.
Cam, in all honesty, you should read it to yourself a few times.
Yeah.
And be familiar with it. You can't just be
Of
put on the
course
spot.
not. Well, I did it on the spot.
Well, you should
I have a hard time with names sometimes. We're crying out loud.
We're starting to unravel.
All right, so we're getting crazy here. All right, you know what then? All right, well, Cameron, maybe you would like to do one. We can work together one day in the studio. It doesn't have to be live, okay?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll coach you. You know, say it like this. The Association of Licensed Battlefield Guides is excited for your summer participation. I don't know what the thing said because I'm not looking at but my point is we'll work on it with you.
You
And
can give me Eric's.
Which one?
The leather commercial.
oh, all right, I'll give you Von Dettem & Co. Yeah, all right.
Eric is going to be pissed.
He will.
That's why I want it.
Refund.
He'll be so mad. Refund. I owe him 2 years of this stuff because he helped me. He doesn't pay me for that. That's out of my heart. No, so okay.
He's going to come down here and rip that heart out, bro.
Well, well, that's what we'll do. We'll forever link you with the Von Dettem & Co. name. He'll have to change the name of the company.
You doing news or events first?
She's the gal who knows what's going on. So take notes. There's a test at the end. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Veronica Brestensky, with news, traffic, weather, sidewalk conditions, and what's happening this weekend.
I must have all possible information.
Veronica had a very funny joke today. Wait, Veronica.
Tell me this
These
is some
get longer and longer every week.
It's so nice.
tasteless joke.
Hello, Dolly. Hello, Dolly.
Why would you want to be a cheerleader, Steve Martin?
Okay, Veronica, go ahead.
Now you're gonna.
No, wait, one more.
Grabbed and pulled and hurt my neck.
Okay, there you go. Now you can go.
Okay. I'm waiting for it to just like jump in, so I know.
No,
go
we're
ahead,
okay.
go ahead.
No,
I see you're-
I'm changing my page here so that
go
I
ahead.
can find
Play
something
whatever
else.
else you're
No,
gonna
no,
play.
I have nothing else. It's all you now. Go ahead.
Lies.
All right.
All right, it's all you. You just have fun with it.
Don't you threaten me, you little son of a bitch.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Seriously.
So
Why, Ike? Whatever do you mean?
I've got 2 guns, one for each of you.
Okay. Okay, go.
So actually, one of your viewers last week, when Bethany filled in for me, commented that Bethany looked like she was ready to like just punch you right in the face during all this because it's just beyond annoying that we put effort into trying to get this stuff for you and then you just interrupt and don't pay attention.
Oh
and do
my
all the other
god.
stuff.
Oh my god.
So I can completely commiserate and I can
What
see.
did I remember when I asked you to do this, I sent you a clip.
For instance.
And it was and I said, when you get to the news, it's going to be like this, where you're going to have to barrel through when all of us are acting like idiots.
I don't remember that.
Well, I'll
I
send
would
you
have never
the
signed up.
All right, so okay, Walter Cronkite, let's take it all seriously
Yes,
here.
attention,
Okay,
please.
go ahead. Everybody pay attention.
No, so
Cameron,
anyway.
take that smile off your face. No happiness. This is news. Go.
News.
Go.
All
That's
right.
all right.
So the borough received.
I'm sorry. No, that was an accident.
Lies?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lies?
Yeah, lies. The borough received some good news.
Yeah?
I'm waiting. I keep waiting.
No. My hands are up here.
Yeah, all right. So the borough received some good news this week.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Isn't it good?
What's the news?
So if you recall, we talked about the new visitor center, or welcome center.
Yes, down by the Farnsworth House?
Yep, on Baltimore. So they have Main Street Gettysburg has selected its architect.
Okay.
And the Borough Council unanimously approved the handicapped accessible public restroom, info center, and meeting area event rentals for the proposed design. So the next step is there's a meeting in June, on June 21st, before the Historic Architectural Committee. They're going to try to basically ask for demolition permission.
I was going to say, isn't that the next step, is tearing the place down?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
because I think the report came back that there's such a bad, like 11-inch grade from the front of the building to the
Really?
back because of like foundation slippage
Yeah.
and things like that. So anyway, but we're one step closer to having that come to fruition. They're projecting it's a $1.7 million project. So it's a pretty serious undertaking, but Main Street Gettysburg is still fundraising and things are going in the right direction. So
And so do they have a projected date of when that'll be ready?
not that I've seen. Yeah. I mean, they're not
It's a
even
process.
they're not even sure they're going to get the approval for demolition. You know what I mean? Like it's
Wait, who do they have to get approval from? The borough?
The historic, because it's
it's
not a Civil War building. It was like 1880s, but they still have, because I guess of the historic.
Yeah, it's in the historic district.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can't sneeze there without permission.
Right.
So who do they have to get from the Historical Architectural Review Board? Is that who they have to get, the HARB?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
So the borough has to get permission from
I
HARB.
think Main Street Gettysburg.
Main
which is
Street,
which is the funding, like the
Understood.
private. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good news.
it
So
is-
step in the
it's
right
still-
direction.
Yeah, because it's kind of been sitting there for a while,
Yeah.
to be honest. I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but that hit the news.
So to the visitors who are coming and walking around, and you're like, "Where's a place that I could pee?" Just hold it for a couple more years.
Couple more years, yeah.
There you go.
That same article actually, and this surprised me. It said something like 4 million visitors
To town.
to town.
Yeah, not to the park.
Not to the park, but I don't know how are they counting that? I'm not exactly
Stand on a
sure.
corner, go 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, right.
4, 5.
They're counting Bike Week, man.
They're counting what?
Bike Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would really be fascinated to figure out how they're counting that stuff. There was a
Hotels.
different-
It's a hotel tax. That I knew the answer. So
right.
I
Now,
had
that's
to,
been going up. There was an article about that too. We set another record this past month, whatever the calculation was for March or April or whatever. It's been like the 4th or 5th month in a row where the pillow tax has, for Gettysburg specifically, has gone up like historically high levels, which is good, right? Tourism is back. But that doesn't even account for 4 million visitors. Right, I
I
the
believe
residents
more
that
people
go around
come
the square. Do they get caught? Every day if they're going to work. It's how do you,
No.
tally
I
a
think
visitor?
it's hotel. I think it's the occupancy tax or whatever the hell
You
it
think
is.
but that's per room. So again, how do you calculate visitors? What if a family of 5, or as opposed to one person's in a room?
Well, the hotel keeps records. You make a hotel reservation. They say how many people.
When I make hotel reservations, I say one adult. That doesn't.
And then you sneak all the people in.
No, but I mean, like even if just my mom comes or something, like that's another. That's impossible. You can't tell me there's 4 million people that get.
That's a good question. I don't know. Do you have an idea how they would estimate that, Jen? Dr. Jen Murray?
But visitation to the battlefield is not even a million. So
Right.
that strikes me as being unusually
That's what I'm
high.
saying. It's because if you think about all the events like at the college, like even Parents' Day and things like that, like those aren't really visitors, so to speak. I mean,
But they're
terms
not
of, like,
from here.
right? That's fair. But again, how do you calculate that? Is every car that goes around, because all the residents would be getting?
I think I've had this conversation before, and I think the answer is the hotel type, the pillow type, whatever they call it.
Yeah, it's a pillow tax.
I think, yeah. I
Anyway.
think that's it. But I do believe that there would be more people coming here than to the park, because there's millions of reasons to come to town, not necessarily millions of reasons to go to the park. There's one reason to go to the park, and not everybody's into the history.
Fair.
So, and there's a lot of events in town that never, I mean, even if they're history-related events, they don't need the battlefield.
That begs the question of how do they calculate on the battlefield? Is it just people setting foot in the visitor center? Because I'm sure a lot of people drive around the. Okay.
Debbie has the answer.
So for the Park Service, they count the number of vehicles that enter and multiply by the average number of passengers per car.
But enter where?
Those tickers on the road.
Yeah, you ever see
like
the
at
little
Hancock Avenue down by the PA Monument.
You ever see that cable that
They have a-
they stretch across
Yeah,
the road?
but every once in a while.
Right, not always.
Yeah, they have a whole formula that calculates that. And they do for the visitor center too.
Interesting.
It's a formulaic tabulation.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's formula, right?
Yeah,
Because it's not every day they're counting people.
Right, of course not, yeah.
When are they going to be done with that construction to the entrance from?
Tawnytown.
Yeah, like the entrance, not on Baltimore.
Oh, June.
June it'll be
Well,
done?
it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be done beginning of June.
I've tried to drive down there like 3 times in the past 6 months, and every time I get there, I'm like, crap, I keep forgetting
I know.
that it's close.
I know. It took me a couple times before I remembered that.
Going down Granite Schoolhouse Road isn't that bad.
No, I
it's a
find it
pretty-
enjoyable.
I like
But-
that road.
But when you're cutting it like 5 minutes to showtime coming from my studio to here, it's not the interruption you want.
Yeah, just stop taking the Tawnytown Road. That's what I did.
I've learned my lesson.
So some other good news came about this week in the form of a press release and video by the American Battlefield Trust. So they announced that after an 8-year hiatus at different locations, they are bringing back their annual conference here to Gettysburg next year. So that's pretty exciting. They had Pete Carmichael, Pete Mealy, Andrew Dalton, Tim Smith, people from Main Street Gettysburg, Destination Gettysburg.
Dressing Gettysburg. Oh, wow. They got us too? That's so nice.
Wayne Motts. They had Steve Sims. Everybody was there to announce that they're excited to establish or announce in April of 2024, specifically the 25th through the 28th, they are going to host their annual conference back here in Gettysburg. And
Where are they going to hold it?
I don't know. I don't think the specifics have been announced yet. I'm assuming it's going to be a bunch of those locations because if all those people are representing, the college and the foundation or the foundation, the Seminary Ridge Museum, Historical Society,
Dressing Gettysburg. Oh yeah, them too.
Yeah. But the upshot of that is they're projecting that 400 members will be attending. That's like average. That's what they're expecting somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000 worth of revenue just for that particular weekend for the borough.
Good
So
for them.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So that's the news.
All right, and so that means that
This weekend, where the action is. What's there to do and see when you're in town this weekend? Here's Valerie, Veronica to fill you in.
It's all covered.
Hands off.
I'm not touching a damn
All right,
thing.
good. So we will start with just a real quick recap of what Dr.
What do you
Murray...
think? I have fake hands, Cameron? Cameron had to look.
Yeah,
My hands are up in the air, and Cameron came around to look. You think I got another set of hands?
He told me
You're always up to
I'm just
something.
bussing.
You're
Yeah,
always
I'm
up to
just
something.
no, he thinks that there's something automatically going there or something. I don't know.
No.
All right, go ahead.
So anyway, the Civil War weekends at the museum symposium. Dr. Murray was kind enough to just give us a little bit of a recap, but just a reminder, or in case you missed that little segment, this weekend, the 20th and 21st, there are 4 speakers that are going to cooperate with the fundraiser that's part Adams County Historical Society, part Oklahoma State University, but it's John Heiser, Chris Gwynn, Dr. Murray herself, and Dr. Pete Carmichael. So I saw,
shirtless.
obviously tickets are on sale, but if somebody just shows up to the Historical Society, are they going to be welcome? If
Yeah.
They, okay.
And you can buy your tickets the day of. And thank you for adding that. Cool. Right. So you can get them online in advance, or you can buy them as a walk-in.
And then, so the AM sessions each day are at 10:30, and the afternoon sessions at 2:30. Right. Are they about
an hour?
Okay, perfect. So time for lunch on your own and come back, or check out the museum. I think you said
exactly.
And you're doing mead at what time on Sunday morning?
10:30.
10:30 on Sunday morning.
He's a really good listener.
Yeah, I was thinking of.
He's a very good listener.
I was thinking of food.
Steel trap that one.
Yeah. And what weekend is this?
Yeah, that's closer to the truth. Well, you said something about it. Anyway.
That was years ago.
All right.
All right. So what else?
Sorry, dude.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, something you can check out, and I think this will actually kind of jive if you're going to go to Dr. Murray's event. You can also try to squeeze in a quick visit to the, I'll say new to us, Gettysburg Black History Museum is officially located in Valentine Hall on Seminary Ridge. They are open Saturdays, noon to 4, May 20th, so obviously Saturday, and then June 3rd, 7th, and 24th, and then there are some other dates through November, actually, but I'll hit you up as we move on with the news going forward. They can also be contacted at questions@gettysburgblackhistory.com in case you want to try to set up a visit on your own for some time that doesn't work with those particular advertised dates.
Oh, so they're only open certain days.
They're only open certain days, but you can reach out to them to try to get a private access to that.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of that in Gettysburg. Only open certain days.
A lot of these places run on volunteer work, so it's
yeah. But you bring up a good point there, Colby.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. You're welcome. So Amy and I were walking around the other day. It was 6 o'clock, right, on a Friday or I don't remember what
everything
day
was closed.
Everything was closed.
It's crazy to me.
It's insane. And this is the thing I love. I love this about the people here. This attitude. I call it a PA Dutch attitude, or I don't know where it comes from, but to me, that's what it is. This attitude, and I remember when it started, it was 2008. People used to be open till 9 o'clock. Because why? Because tourists do Battlefield all day or whatever all day. They eat dinner and then they walk around and they say, what can we spend our money on? And then they want to go to shops, but there's nothing open now. But back then there was. Then the whole 2008 recession or whatever the hell happened and businesses were feeling the crunch and they're like, well, nobody comes in here anymore, so we're going to close at 5. Well, nobody's walking around prior to 5 o'clock in town looking to go shopping. They're out doing something else. Right. So you close and then everybody walks around and I hear this from visitors all the time. They're like, this town is never open. There's nothing to do at night. And I go, yeah, I don't know why. Okay, I get it. You don't want to pay somebody 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock to be, sitting there or whatever. So open at 11, open at 12, stay open until 9. I guarantee you're going to make more money because there's people standing out there. I'm going to take video next time on a Saturday night.
Monday night is unbelievable.
They're all unbelievable.
Monday night, there's literally
disbelief everywhere.
One restaurant in Gettysburg that's open past 6 p.m. on Monday night, and it's freaking Gary Owen.
And Tommy's is open, though. Tommy's is open. The smart ones stay open on Monday because everybody else is closed. If you look, I understand you got to take a lot of restaurants close one day a week, right? Pick a different day than Monday. Can we all just get together and just talk about these things and figure out ways where everybody wins? The business owner wins, the visitor wins, and I win because everybody listened to my idea. Can we just do that? No, we can't. Apparently, we can't do that. Everything has to be closed.
They also, if they pick a day to be closed, they got to stick to that day because that's another thing
that's another thing people don't do. They don't stick to their posted hours.
1 week they'll be closed on Tuesday. The next week they're closed on Thursdays.
Yeah.
The week after that it's Wednesdays. You can never figure it out.
Inconsistency. And it's amazing people are still keeping their doors open. How do you do that?
I don't know how they do it.
I don't either. It's like another planet we're on. It's like, do you understand, Veronica? You seem very shy about this.
I'm worried right now, Veronica.
I don't know what you guys are. I mean, yes, there are certain things that are open some days, like Tommy's is closed Tuesdays, for example. But other restaurants are open. Like Blessings is, I think, closed on Tuesdays.
Sure.
And on Mondays, what? So I've never had that problem.
All right, here's
no,
one.
But we're talking about Monday. Monday, nothing is open.
Gettysburger. I like Gettysburger. I like Gettysburger. Listen, wait, but
Farnsworth House.
But Gettysburger
Farnsworth's open on Monday.
Is guilty of this. this.
No.
Gettysburg will be.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on, Colby. Don't pull those through. Wait, hold on. So wait. Dobbin is open on Mondays, right? Yeah. Farnsworth is not open on Mondays. No.
Well,
maybe summer hours they are. Okay, that's different. Yeah. All right.
Let's walk. Okay, so Gary Owen, Food 101 is open.
Mondays?
What time are you
Thai
talking
Elephant
though?
Walk.
For dinner?
6 o'clock. I feel like
Yes.
Gary Owen is the only thing besides
No,
Tommy's.
Blue and Gray. What else? What's the one? Lincoln is open.
I don't know about that.
They are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Well, I do know that Gettysburg, and I like Gettysburg, but Gettysburg is the one, probably the biggest culprit of this. 1 week they're closed on Monday. The next week they're closed on Tuesday. The week after that it'll be they're closed, Thursday, then back to Wednesday. The week after, dude, they change their days like they're changing clothes. It's crazy.
Well, we don't need to name certain businesses, but I just this is common. Veronica doesn't see it. She has a rose-colored set of glasses.
I don't even cook. I eat out. I have no problem.
You're right.
A place
You
open
would know.
every single
Wait,
day.
yes,
But
you would know.
Are you eating dinner at 5 p.m. every day? Because that doesn't count.
No, I would agree.
Well, when are
there
you
are
eating
very
dinner?
few that are open
I gotta wait.
super late.
I gotta wait for the wife to get off work half the time. She's a nurse, so we don't get.
So why are you home cooking her dinner?
I have to because we live out in the sticks.
There you go.
We can't even get delivery out there. But that being said, there's some nights we want to go into town and have a drink and dinner, and we will drive down here, and literally it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
Interesting. Ghost town. There's just nothing.
Yeah,
open.
no, it's true. All right, so go ahead, Ronnie. What else you got?
Where are we? So
Now that we pissed off the entire business community.
It'll buff out.
Sponsorships there, buddy.
What, Mike?
Good luck on sponsorships there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, all my sponsors are perfect. It's everybody who hasn't been a sponsor.
Right.
Yeah.
I love for this story, man.
So also just a reminder that the farmers market is now officially open for the entire season, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the new location at the Gettysburg
Much
Rec
better
Center.
location.
Yeah, it's really cool. A lot more vendors, it's just a neater atmosphere too. Like
It's more of like a festival type of an atmosphere, and there's shade.
Correct.
So when it gets really hot, you're not out there in the blazing sun,
right.
And they had, there was a couple of bands there I saw.
Yeah.
Were you there that time? The really good band was there?
You went over and talked to them.
Yeah.
Came late for breakfast.
So they're going to come in the show, or come on the show.
Yeah, Federal.
And when we went to breakfast at Federal Dunlap's.
Yeah. Everybody be ready. Matt and I are going to do it one day, and
What?
it's going to blow the socks off of that farmer's market.
We'll do what?
Play. We're going to go out there and jam, dude.
I have an idea for that, by the way.
Look, see? It's in the works, everybody.
Something's in the works, and it's going to be great. What the hell are you laughing at, Peter? All right, go ahead.
Also, Underground Railroad tours are officially underway for this
Ooh,
season.
that's
At
cool.
McAllister's Mill, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Park at the old Mulligan McDuffers parking lot. Get there a few minutes early. There is a suggested donation to the HGAC. I believe it's $10 per person, $5 for a kid. But that's every Saturday at 11.
Who's leading that?
Just representatives of
various people.
I know Deb Novotny's involved. I know Kendra DeBaney, I think, helps out. It just depends.
That sounds like a cool freaking tour, man.
It is, and it's really neat. And this would be the time to do it when it's not super hot and muggy, because it gets you get down there towards the creek and it gets really
swampy.
Yeah. So also Seminary Ridge Museum announced their sunset tours for this summer, starting next Friday. That's their first one. So it's going to be all Fridays, 6:30 to 7:30, and it looks to be pretty much I don't want to say last, but anyway, May 26th, June 23rd, July 28th, and August 18th for a free tour with something to do with Seminary Ridge's history for the Civil War. What else? So, a reminder for our own Get Out of the Car tour. The next one is next week. Now, that is a little bit different from our standard third Saturday of the month. Because obviously the 20th is the third Saturday of this month, but it is pushed back to Memorial Day weekend, the 27th. It'll be covering Willard's Brigade.
You asked me before the show why, and the answer is simple. Last year, Gary and Tim were doing something the third Saturday, and I thought everybody would go to that.
Yeah.
And so I said, Eric and I were like, well, maybe we should do it the following Saturday, Memorial Day weekend. And I was like, I'm like, maybe I doubt people will even go to the movie. We're going to have even less people for that one, But we rolled the dice, and we ended up having more people than we did in April. So I was like, oh, okay, that was good. That wasn't bad. And then I decided this year, I said, let's do it again on Memorial Day weekend because people come here for Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it's something for them to do.
There you go. And speaking of Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day itself, there is the 2 p.m. parade.
Right.
So make sure you grab an early.
And you're going to be in it.
Yes.
And you're going to be
Thaddeus Stevens Society.
Right. And are you going to dress up like Thaddeus Stevens?
Not even one of his women. No. I'm going to be. He had a club foot, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm not making fun of the guy. It's a real gangster lean, though, dude. He's leaning into it hard.
He's excited. He just passed the 14th. He was just, responsible for the 14th Amendment.
That's what it's supposed to be. He's walking against the winds.
The winds.
The prevailing winds.
That's correct, yes. Actually, all joking aside, there is symbolism to that.
No,
that's what it's meant to
but
be.
But it throws me off every time I'm driving up Baltimore Street and I see it in my periphery. Yeah, and I'm like, oh God, the statue's. Oh no, that's supposed to be that way. But if you look at it head on, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
It throws you off from an angle, from the side.
Yep.
That means if you're walking up to it from the sidewalk, you're always going to be thrown off.
Yeah. Well, I get vertigo.
Plus, the unfortunate part of that is the sidewalk is actually leaning there. It's not a flat. If you really look at the sidewalk, that's also just an unfortunate coincidence that that spot that the county saw fit to give us, or the borough saw fit, it's leaning.
It's sloped.
It's a slope.
If you look, and it's really pronounced when you look at it from the north corner of West Middle Street, and you're looking south because they have a wayside marker which is level,
right?
And then behind it is Thaddeus Stevens, and it looked like he's in the middle of a fall.
Yeah,
but it's not. He's walking against the winds of history.
That is correct. So also on Memorial Day, after you attend the parade and the memorial
in a world.
That was good. That was good, though. I have to give you props. That was a good world.
When history blows like a hurricane, Thaddeus Stevens stands alone. Rutger Hauer and Kirstie Alley in Thad. Thank you.
Is that the blue and gray?
What?
Huh?
No, she's in North and South.
North and South.
Yeah. No, this is Thad. It's a new.
Watch movies.
It's a new miniseries on ABC.
It's Thad.
It's Thad. All right, go ahead.
So also happy to announce that 100 Nights of Taps is officially confirmed. It'll be in its 7th year this year.
All right.
So that kicks off on Memorial Day, 7 p.m. There will be some speakers, including some retired. I think. Actually, I lied. It might not. Last year, it was a retired colonel or something like that. This year, I think it's maybe an author. So don't quote me. But there's another presentation, Steve Sims and et cetera. Also, I'm super excited about this. The licensed battlefield guides are continuing their tradition of giving the free nightly tours, talking about the aftermath of the battle and also the creation of the cemetery and a tour of the cemetery. That always kicks off at 5:30 p.m. That's a free tour at the Tawnytown entrance of the cemetery, and then stay around for the 7 o'clock ceremony for taps. So that will run from Memorial Day to Labor Day. This year, the Lincoln Foundation is honoring that they always give out the little challenge coin for the folks that play the bugle or taps or whatever. This year, it is in honor of the unknown Union soldier. So last year, I think it was Amos Humiston, that kind of stuff.
Yes, it was.
So this year, it's to recognize the unknown soldiers.
Very nice.
That's pretty cool. So planning ahead a little bit, I want to give you guys a heads up because I mentioned this 2 weeks ago when I was on last. Seminary Ridge is hosting a dinner, talk, and tour on June 30th. It is going to be catered by Ragged Edge. It's going to contain authentic Civil War inspired foods in a buffet style in one of the historic.
That was not on purpose.
In one of the historic buildings up there. It starts at 6 o'clock now. The tickets are sold out. However, they are still accepting requests for a wait list. So if you're interested in that, that's June 30th, 6 p.m. It's in conjunction with their 10th anniversary and obviously the beginning of the battle.
Right.
So if you're interested in getting on the wait list, it's info@seminaryridgemuseum.org, and that's the June 30th dinner. July 1st, the foundation's doing something a little bit different. The foundation's doing something a little bit different for the battle weekend, the battle anniversary. In years past, what they have done, especially when they revived the Sacred Trust Talks, which was last year, they had a headliner the first, second, and third. Those tickets went on sale. Even though they were free, you had to reserve your ticket. They only went on sale or reservation available for maybe a week or two prior, you had to like hurry up and either get online at the foundation website or you had to go to the visitor center and hurry up and get your tickets. This year, they're doing something a little bit different on the July 1st presentation. So William C. Jack Davis is going to be the headline speaker. He's written something like over 50 books or collaborated with over, he's a prolific author. This year, if you buy a $55 dinner and cocktail ticket, that gets you in to meet him, dine with him, etc. at 5 o'clock, followed by a book signing with those folks, followed by a free ticket for the 7 o'clock presentation. Now, the 7 o'clock presentation is still free. However, if you don't have a dinner ticket, you're not necessarily going to be guaranteed a ticket to that event this year, like in years past, because they might already be all spoken for by the folks who buy the dinner. So just a heads up, July 2nd and 3rd, those tickets are not released yet. They will be completely free, but there will be an announcement from the National Park Service and the foundation about when those tickets can be reserved.
Okay.
Just a heads up, because this might sell out. I don't know what to expect. But if you're interested in seeing him talk, you might want to consider doing the dinner and cocktails prior to that. $55, but I'm sure it benefits the foundation and things of that nature. So something to consider. Also recently announced is the Summer Classic series is returning to the Majestic Theater. So that starts on Wednesday night. Starts June 7th with Some Like It Hot, a 1959 movie.
She's writing the schedule down.
$8 a ticket. 7:30 showing. Like I said, June 7th is Some Like It Hot. June 14th is Notorious. June 20th.
Is that Hitchcock? Notorious?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
1946 movie. That's all I know.
Yeah.
The Green Berets at any time?
Nope. June 21st is Babe. I can't believe that's a classic movie.
Babe.
I know that's a classic. They tried to I think later in the summer they have Back to the Future and things like that. But yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know.
It's Back to the Future 2, isn't it?
I think right,
my favorite was 3. I love 3.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Nikkei.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So anyway, those tickets. Well, you don't need to buy those in advance, but that's something to keep in mind for Wednesday night. For Tuesday nights, excuse me. Our new sponsor, or renewed sponsor, the Association of Licensed Battlefield Guides, are kicking off their summer walks. Again, Tuesday evenings. That is the day before the movies start. So that's going to be June 6th. $35 a walk. I did not write down all the topics and the details, but if you're interested.
It's in the ad.
It's, okay. Oh, is it? Every single topic. So
and the name of every guide on the roster. I'm going to have to talk to Jesse about
if you're interested in getting more information, their website is gettysburgtourguides.org. Not com.
Not com.
Gettysburg Tour
You don't want to see what comes up when you go with
I'm
.com.
Warn you. But it's .org, and you can get more information. And you actually, I think you need to pay in advance. So if you want to do that, you got to do it on their website.
Yes, you got to register for it, and it's $35.
$35 a walk.
Yeah.
And then finally, we're going to be talking about this. I think with a guest coming up, maybe next week. I forget the actual schedule, but the shelling of Carlisle.
Oh, wow.
In honor of the 160th anniversary, there's going to be a reenactment on Saturday, June 10th, starting at 10 a.m. in the square in Carlisle. They're going to have vendors. There's going to be a walking tour of High Street, where there's going to be some unveiling of new historical plaques and an explanation of those plaques. Authors and bookstore owner Jim Schmick, Cooper Wingert, Scott Mingus, and other local folks are going to be available for history talks and signings. The day is going to continue up till the 3 p.m. reenactment. So there's an actual, we know Joe from Peach Orchard Publishing. Yeah. He's actually one of the actors in this. It's a scripted reenactment, much like I think what they do, the Burning of Chambersburg. That's what I'm getting the vibe of.
What did you say the date was for that again?
June 10th.
June 10th. So
Saturday,
it'll be
June 10th.
I think it's the Thursday before that.
Okay, then maybe
they're going to be on.
Okay,
yeah.
So they'll come on to advertise it, but just if you're planning ahead for your upcoming couple weekends here, that's going to actually run the whole way through. At 3 o'clock, I said the reenactment. 5 o'clock, the Sons of Union Veterans are going to be hosting a ceremony at the Civil War Monument right on the square in honor of the Cumberland County soldiers who were killed in Civil War, and then it's going to cap off with a director's cut showing of Gettysburg, free at 7:30 at the Carlisle Theater. So a big day for them, but I think that's
long.
kind of cool. Yeah. Like it might be, yeah.
What is that? 5 hours?
It's like 4.5 hours. Yeah.
So, but if you're interested in the reenactment, it's at 3. I would advise obviously getting there a little bit earlier so you can try to take advantage of the vendors and the tours and things like that. But the highlight is obviously the reenactment.
Jen, do you show the movie to your students? Or do you encourage them to watch it?
Oh my God, that would be like a month of the semester. The whole thing.
Yeah. Piece of cake.
What about Platoon? You make them watch Platoon?
I do a whole class on history and film that focuses on the warrior image, and we watch war movies all semester.
Oh wow!
I would really, in that class and
really.
Yeah, I would have taken that for sure.
Yeah, it's a great class.
What's your favorite movie you show in that class?
Glory.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I give them letters from Robert Gould Shaw, so they will make like primary documents with what they see on film. So we get a sense of like how accurate the depiction is, and maybe why it deviates from the historical record, and what Shaw actually thought about commanding the 54th Massachusetts, for instance.
Did he? Okay, I was under the impression he sought that command. Did he not?
No, and that's a great question. He writes letters. I can send some of the stuff I give to my students if you want.
Oh yeah,
to his fiance, very much deliberating over whether he should take it or not, and this is pretty clear in the historical record, and that's a pretty significant deviation of how it's portrayed in the film. So he was not enthused about it initially to command the 54th, but obviously he changed his mind, but it wasn't something that he solicited, no.
But I think that's almost a better story and a better image of the transition that happens across the entirety of the North.
Yeah.
Well, it is, and the scene in the film, he's there at the governor's house, right, and then Frederick Douglass is there, and he takes command like on the spot. That never happened.
Right.
That's completely
I'm gonna do
Hollywood,
it.
Right. So we talk about, like why deviate when the original story is interesting or not?
Because you see the redemptive qualities of humanity in the original, the way it actually happened.
Well, you also don't have the time to go through the whole thing.
Right.
It's a time thing.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But like the thing that got me about that movie was the end when Strong says, if this man should fall, who will pick up the flag? In reality, Shaw is the guy who stepped forward and said, I will. But they changed it. And I think, for a colonel to stand up and say that,
that's heavy.
I mean, yeah, but I understand what they were trying to do. But so you can always appreciate a movie for the movie, but never think you're really getting history. You gotta go get a book.
You also get to watch greatness in Denzel Washington in that movie.
Yeah,
they're all great. Every performance in that movie is fantastic.
Yeah,
except Carrie always bothers me a little bit, but he's still good. Just bothers me.
Now, okay.
Marching is probably all they're ever going to get to do, Robert. It's like, where's that stupid accent?
That was excellent, though. That was an excellent imitation there.
Left foot, right foot.
Now, okay,
little finger on the seam of the trousers. Marching.
That dude does play a good drill, like a drill instructor.
Oh, he's my favorite character.
He really, I mean, that.
I can't yell out any of my favorite quotes because
they're all nasty.
Terrible, but
it's like Full Metal Jacket. All the best lines you can't repeat on air.
Well, like the surly, drunken Irish racist sergeant always cracks me up in films. Like in the old John Wayne movies, it was Victor McLaughlin, and he wasn't racist. He was just drunk.
Yeah.
But
harsh, weather beaten.
Yeah, he's just been through it all, and all he needs is a little nip, and and he can go on with his day. Those guys always crack me up because it reminded me of my great uncles, who I never met, but I heard stories about.
Do you? What's your favorite? I guess two questions I'm going to combine into one. One, for the Western experience after the Civil War, do you ever have your students watch Hostiles?
Oh, that's a great one.
We did not, but I do show them some clips of other stuff. You mentioned the John Wayne films. We watched She Wore a Yellow Ribbon.
Sands of Iwo Jima?
No.
That's what made me want to be a Marine.
They died with their boots on. They watched
Great movie. Great movie.
Custer stuff.
How about Son of the Morning Star? Do you make them watch that one for? Yeah, that's a good one. Have you ever heard of that?
Tell me more.
All right. So Son of the Morning Star it's a novel by Evan S. Connell, but I've heard it pronounced Connell. Whatever. It's great. I'm sorry, it's not a novel. What did I say? It's a history book about the Battle of the Little Bighorn. And it tells both sides. It jumps back and forth between the Indians and the United States. And the movie is narrated by Libby Custer and Kate Bighead, who, are obviously women from their respective cultures, and but the book isn't from their perspective. The book is just a history, and it gets into the nitty gritty of like who the 7th Cavalry was, who Crazy Horse was, who Sitting Bull was, who all these people. I mean, all these guys. Like it's a thick one. But they made in I think it was 89 or 90, somewhere around there. They made a miniseries on ABC. Gary Cole plays Custer. Rosanna Arquette plays Libby. Rodney A. Grant plays Crazy Horse, and I forget the guy's name who plays Sitting Bull, but it's very good for a TV movie, like a made-for-TV movie.
I feel like Custer's played a little flamboyantly. I mean, I know he's portrayed flamboyantly, but
they died with their boots on.
The Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
I feel like the historical take on Custer is never like accurate in Hollywood.
No, because every generation looks at him differently. Nobody looks at him as who he was. Although that's what I think was good about Son of the Morning Star, is that they take a fair look at both of them. There's no bias when they do that. But anyway, it's a 2-part miniseries from ABC. You can only find it on YouTube. I can't find it anywhere else where it's like good quality. Somebody put it on YouTube and from their VHS. So I would download it in case it ever gets copyright dinged, because it'll be gone then. But it's very well done, and I would have them watch that. Yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, what?
No, I was just going to finish off.
Cam,
I didn't see him behind me there.
Sorry.
He snuck in like a ninja.
Want to let you know, Memorial Weekend, we're doing Civil War at Fort McHenry.
All right.
And it's just up in the air. But I found out at 150 they did stuff with the aftermath of Gettysburg.
It's so interesting that you know the specific time you found that out at 150.
Well, they were talking about it, and so we got to say.
So you looked at your watch. Oh, I'm sorry, Cameron. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to have fun on my own show. Go ahead, Cameron.
And so
I'm gonna sit here like I'm in church.
The other day we got talking, if they were going to do something for the 160 Gettysburg.
Yes.
So their talk of we might do some like talking about what it was like for Baltimore during the Gettysburg campaign. And do the aftermath when they brought all the soldiers.
And are you doing like a connection with Armistead?
Yeah. He was brought there a month after the battle and was buried beside his uncle, who was the hero of Fort McHenry.
Yeah. Ironic, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not ironic.
Coincidental.
So you got the Confederates hero Gettysburg buried beside the hero of Fort McHenry.
Yes. And they were fighting for different sides. Right? Not the same side. All right. And so then you can come to the Get Out of the Car tour, ladies and gentlemen, and then you can go straight down to Baltimore, see Cameron, because you work on Saturdays. Yeah. So you'll be there on Saturdays. And when do you start as cabin boy of the Pride of the Chesapeake or whatever it's called?
First weekend of June, the trails, my supervisor for the Star Spangled Banner Trail has me going to I cannot say that name again.
Arkansas?
No, not Arkansas. Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace.
Yeah, it's up in the northern part. I'm actually going to be solo on this, working from on the Pride, doing informal interpretive talks about like the privateers' life on a schooner ship. And working.
It's called scholarship.
Schooner.
Stop it. Stop it. Are you going to be in like a NPS garb, or are you like historical?
I'll be in NPS because I'm representing the Park Service.
Yeah. Oh, somebody was asking me. I think it was Debbie. We were talking about it, weren't we? Is the Pride of Baltimore a National Park Service?
No.
So how are you involved with that?
Partnership.
Aha.
Like the foundation.
Yeah, gotcha. Public-private. Yeah. Okay.
So, like, you know how Civil War Trails is like a partnership?
Yeah.
They have one in the National Park, the Star Spangled Banner Trail.
Okay.
And so when I was interviewed for my job, they brought Kate on, who's the supervisor for the National Park Service of the trail of all the different sites.
Right, okay.
And so I'm the seasonal ranger that's been put with her for the summer. And like,
God bless her.
You owe her a good Christmas present, buddy.
You knew that was coming, Cam. Come on.
So actually, next week is a training, but I'll be in civilian clothes after I'm done working for the day, I'm supposed to go over to Baltimore Point or Port. It's a port right there, about 2 miles from the fort, where I get to do a sunset ride on the Pride of Baltimore.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So wait, like, can private citizens? Is this something you buy a ticket or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can actually buy.
Oh, we're gonna go and do this.
You can actually buy
Or something.
tickets for this. They're doing it Saturday and Sunday
Okay.
of Memorial Weekend. I'm going to be on there Saturday getting a feel for what it's like on the ship while it's out
That's so
sailing.
cool. I'm jealous of that.
That is kinda
I want to do that.
And it's going to be at sunset on the Chesapeake.
You gonna go to the bow and yell you're the king of the world?
Yes.
It's not Titanic.
Well,
All right, well then say you're the king of the Chesapeake.
have you learned any sea shanties yet? Do you have to for the job?
No,
Put him
I'm
in the
just
cell
trying.
with the long hose on him. Put him in the cell with the long hose on him.
Have you?
No, I'm trying to learn the history of the ship, the privateer, of its role during the War of 1812. So there's a whole lot I get to do. I'm looking forward to that first weekend. I'm representing our section of the park alone.
God.
Even Cam's laughing. Got him.
Oh, there's a swamp dragon.
As you're sailing, there's a swamp dragon.
Oh, there's a swamp dragon. I'm bonfire. I'm looking forward to representing the Park Service.
Yeah.
And so far it's been great. A lot of history learned. No. I even discovered reading about the Hampton House, the Ridgeleys, the fourth owner, who his son actually was responsible for burning with some other men, burning the railroad tracks north of Baltimore in '61.
So wait, are you going to be just doing the Pride now, or are you actually going to be at the fort and the Hampton as well?
All three.
Okay. Well, that's a lot, man. Good. We joke, right?
Yeah,
but
we
that's
do.
Really, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Actually, it's not just the Pride; it's the trail.
Okay.
The Star Spangled Banner Trail, Fort McHenry, and Hampton.
Not laughing.
Oh wow.
But the family. What I'm trying to also get at.
Yes, I'm sorry, Cameron. I'm getting slap happy. I had 2 bottles of iced tea, 2 coffees.
Do I
and
need to tape that shut?
Yeah, you
too?
should tape it shut. Oh, finish your story.
But at Hampton, after the Battle of Gettysburg, Mr. Ridgeley, John Ridgeley, who was there at the time living, found out his friend, who was the colonel of the 2nd Maryland Corps Hill, was wounded, and all the wounded from here at the battle. He bought a wagon load of medical supplies and sent a doctor up here with medical supplies just to help Confederate POWs or Confederate casualties. So
that's the Gettysburg connection. That's cool.
Mm.
That's a lot. That's a lot of work, honestly, Cam. That you're undertaking new to you stuff and everything. And I hope you have a blast this summer.
I do too. I think you're going to really like it, and you're going to get good experience.
Yeah.
And
I think
Put in the door to what you want to do.
I think it'll blow my resume out of the water.
Well, yes.
With everything I'm doing, I'm literally doing the job of probably would be for maybe 2 or 3 seasonals, and They said, "Are you sure you can have?" I said, "I'm pumped up. I didn't know I was going to get this much honoring to do this for y'all." So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, that's good then. So you're doing more than what you really should be doing.
I feel it is more, but
No, but did they say that it's more than what you should be doing, or you just feel like it?
It just feels like I'm doing more, but I enjoy it because it feels like I'm doing real good, and I'm getting hollered at every day about something.
Are you? Wait, why? Because you're messing up?
No, just they need stuff done.
Oh, all right. So like
slang,
Cameron,
not
holler at your boy, yeah.
I'm not trying to talk me up, make it sound like but
you're going to be superintendent of Fort McHenry by the end of the season, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think you're working your way up.
Nah, I'd go for Gettysburg still.
Yeah, really? Because superintendents make a lot of money.
I'd go for Superintendent Gettysburg.
Okay, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Well, this was 45 minutes Dr. Murray can't get back in her life. So thank you for thank you for agreeing to stay with us.
I should have just run right there. That's a me chapter.
It was her choice. I
Thank
didn't
you.
force her. It was her
that's true.
choice.
But she'll never do it again. Fool me once.
Yeah, exactly.
I do this under protest.
All right. Well, do you have another?
Just join your local round table. That's my.
There you go.
Yep,
You're
yep.
like Bob Barker now. Every the end of every show.
Spayed or neutered, and
Join your local round table. Well, there you go. That sounds good to me. Well, that's good, Veronica. Then I like that you're involved with that stuff.
I give him all the credit in the world.
Well, there you go. I give him credit too. That's great.
King Arthur's table?
Zap.
What?
His round table? Can I get on King Arthur's?
Oh.
Everybody's
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone on far too long, and I got to edit this and upload it tonight before I go to bed. So let's get this moving here. That's where we're going to eat. Well, that doesn't matter. We'll figure it out later. Have a good night, everybody. We'll talk to you all next time. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks, Jen. Thank you, Colby. Thank you, Veronica. Bye.
Addressing Gettysburg Today is hosted and produced by Matt Callery and Veronica Brestensky, Esquire. Engineered by Colby Sumner and maybe, sometimes, someone else. Guests of the show stay wherever they want. That's not our concern. To be a guest on the show, send an email to matt@addressinggettysburg.com. Addressing Gettysburg Today broadcasts from the Gettys Bike Tour studios. To get a 15% discount on your next tour with Gettys Bike, call 717-752-7752. And Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg Today. Thanks for listening.
I got it.
Did you say Abe Lincoln? And then you're paying $5 for taxes. Ridiculous. I know, but I didn't know.
I have a hard time with names sometimes. I can't do my work.
Very protective of their case pro. This concludes our broadcast.
There's no time.
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous.